Okay, so today we're going to talk about how to grow your home bakery income without feeling overwhelmed. So I hear a lot of people say, I thought I heard a noise. I hear a lot of people say that they're scared to start or they're scared to grow because they don't want to be swamped with a bunch of orders and just kind of have it get out of control. So we're going to talk about that today. You can start putting your questions in the comment section. If you have any questions about that, if that's a problem you have or something you're kind of worried about. But I would start with, hey Karen, creating order systems. Yes, that was me at first too. Like I was actually more worried about getting too many customers because that can be a problem. That can be just as big of a problem as not getting enough, because if you have too many customers and you are taking a lot of the orders but not able to fulfill them or they're low quality, that can kind of really cause some problems. First thing, create an order system. Like right when an order is placed, you should have a system that you go from order to goes in your calendar, and then you should have some sort of system set up to keep everything organized. Okay, yeah, you did remember. That's surprising. Okay, so if you do have questions, though, you can put them in the comments and I'll read them as I'm going through this. So get an order system set up. Get very, very, very organized. If you can, prep stuff ahead of time. If you have anyone that can help you, prep stuff. Like I know with macarons, a lot of your macaron bakers, it can be really hard to get anyone to help you because what are they going to do? Do the macaronage. Like it's really hard to have someone help you because you kind of need to do everything yourself unless they know how to make them as well. But you can have them sift the almond flour, measure the ingredients, do dishes. If you could get maybe some part-time help, I know that's not available for everyone. That was absolutely not available for me when I first started. But that kind of stuff is what you could do ahead of time. So sifting, just getting everything all organized, put it into containers so everything is ready before you get started. Same with order. You kind of need an order flow. I would do something like, yes, if you have questions, you can put them in the comments and I'll read them. So an order flow, I would do everything the same. Like I would set up so people are either picking up their orders or you deliver them, but I would make it the same thing every time. Like I do orders this day and then I pick them up, then I drop them off this day, or you can come pick them up this day. At first, that kind of makes it easier for people because they know they can always get them the same day. Now, this is a big one, so you don't completely burn out, is set boundaries in your business. So if you are just getting so many orders, but they're all the small orders that it's like, I want 12 and I want 3 different flavors, I would not take those, even at first. At first, I was kind of desperate to take at whatever order I could. But even then, those orders were just, because you're wasting product if you're not going to resell it. And that it's just you're going to spend a whole day for a small order. That's going to make you $20. So I would say no to those orders, or tell them, if you've got monthly flavors, say these are the flavors that I can do in a smaller order. If not, you have to order a minimum of this. So avoid those as much as possible. Avoid those kinds of orders as much as possible, because that can definitely set you back on time and money. So also not charging enough for decorated orders. So if you're doing custom macarons or designs on top, I am seeing a lot of people do sugar cookies and decorate them and do really pretty designs and not charging enough for them. So I would definitely make sure you're charging enough if you do something extra like that. Okay, I gave out samples of macarons and I haven't heard back. I'm kind of embarrassed to ask for their thoughts, or should I not do that? Are you talking about just for feedback in general or for wholesale? What kind of containers do you use for bulk ingredients? How much of a turnaround time should you give orders? So that's up to you. The containers, I use all different kinds, whatever fits best in your space. So when I was a home baker, I had to use different containers than I do now in the shop. What kind of turnaround time should you give orders? That is also kind of based on whatever you think and what your situation is. I like to do, are you saying like how long ahead of time do they need to order? I usually say it depends. If I have a busy month and someone asks, 2 weeks ahead of time for a custom order, sometimes I'll do it. If not, because there will always be those people that try to get in last minute, Sometimes I can take them. Sometimes, how much of a short notice do you allow? So yeah, that's what I was just answering. Sometimes I will let them place an order if I have the time to do it in 2 weeks. If they are just getting random flavors from the shop, they can come in and get that within the hour. But if it's a custom one, that just depends how much time I have. But normally I say, I need maybe 3 weeks, a month if it's a bigger order. And I just kind of try to set that as a guideline. So if they do ask for less time, they're not disappointed. How do you get followers faster? So I would do reels. I would not worry so much about followers as I would like getting customers, because a lot of people on Instagram, a lot of bakers have the problem where their Instagram page is growing, but they're not with they're not growing with customers that will actually buy their product. So that's the problem with home bakeries. If you are just following a random influencer's advice on Instagram about how to get followers, you'll get followers, but they might not be the followers that are going to buy from you. So you can maybe have 20,000 followers, but no orders. So as a home bakery, someone that needs their customers to come from local business, they need to grow their Instagram in a more specific way than just an overall influencer would. So I would worry about not necessarily getting more followers faster, but more customers that are going to follow you. How much notice is a good amount of time between when they place the order and when you deliver the baked goods? What are you making? Are you doing macarons? Yeah, so as for the short notice question, I could do, I have, when I first started, I would do a lot of short notice ones. Like literally, when I first opened the shop, I was a little concerned about like, oh my gosh, am I going to make rent and stuff? And the first, I think, month I had the shop open, someone from a business asked me if I could put together like hundreds of boxes, like gift boxes for Christmas. And they needed it like the next day or like really short notice. And they asked if that would even be possible. And I said yes, and ended up just staying up all night and doing that. But I wouldn't do that now. I would absolutely not do that now. But that is something you could do, but then you have to, that is a good way to like kind of burn out quickly. But as long as you're just making sure you're not doing it all the time. Macarons and cookies. Okay, and you want to know how much notice is a good time between when they place the order and when you deliver the baked goods. So that's just up to you and your schedule. I normally do maybe 2 weeks to a month, depends how busy I am. But then, yeah, like I was just saying, sometimes I will let a order in if I have time and want to do it. Okay. So, yes, like I was saying, set boundaries. Don't let people order a small amount of a bunch of flavors. Don't let people do that. That's going to take up a lot of your time and kind of make you a little overwhelmed. I wouldn't do... Where are you located? I'm in Troy, Ohio. The shop's in Troy, Ohio. Where are you located? Yeah, so set boundaries on your orders. So don't let people order last minute. I mean, you can, but that is just something you could do if you are starting to feel overwhelmed. Say, I have to take the orders by this time for this week, and you have to order this many. So for a dozen, 2 flavors is good, or 3. So I would not do, for a dozen, if someone wants to get a custom flavor, they have to order 20 here. But if they want a custom flavor. But if that's a flavor, if you're doing a flavor of the month and you already have like a couple flavors, then I would let them order however many they want of those flavors I already have. But if it's a custom for a dozen, I wouldn't even do the order for a dozen if they wanted a custom flavor. Okay, let's see. Wait, you had a question about for feedback in general. I gave out 2 macarons. I would contact them. People just forget. So I would just contact them, because if they say they're bad, that's still good feedback. Like, then you can kind of think, okay, what can I do to make them better? So I would, any feedback is good feedback. What is a good price for 1 dozen macarons? So I do $2.75 macaron until you hit 40 macarons. I do 1 flavor per dozen unless I have a sale. They can choose from the flavors I am offering. Yes, now that when I was a home baker, I did 2 flavors per month, and they could pick as many as they wanted of those flavors. And then if they wanted a custom flavor, then I would say you have to order 20. To collaborate with other bakers, small business, etc., would you just randomly message or build some sort of relationship online from a business perspective first? I would build a relationship online first, but that is if it was someone that wasn't local. If it was someone that was local, I would go into the shop and just kind of just go into the shop a few times, see how it is, make sure it is a good fit for you as well, and just maybe introduce yourself. Because when they're local shops, a lot of them also want to grow, so they need help too. So collaborations would help benefit them as well. Yeah, so, but the farmers markets, sometimes I would do, well, not sometimes, I would do other flavors as well. So I would do a variety. So if someone did, and I did those every week in the summer, so if someone wanted another flavor that I didn't have or whatever, or they wanted more of a variety, I would just say, come to the farmers market on Saturday, you can pick up a variety there. Do you have any recommendations on how to find suppliers for bulk ingredients and other stock? Yes, I like Costco and Sam's Club and Webstront. Why is 20 the magical number instead of 12 or 24? Because that is what I could do a half batch of macarons. So I wasn't wasting any. When I made a half batch in my home bakery, it would make 22 macarons. So I was able to give them the full batch and not waste any. Denver, Colorado. Okay, how do you ask to host a pop-up? So like I was saying, like someone asked, you kind of create a relationship with them. Yeah, I would start to I would reach out to the pop-up, because if you're doing a pop-up, it's probably local. So I would go in there, meet them, talk to them, tell them what you do. Then maybe in a couple days or weeks or whatever, I'd probably do in a couple days, message them about a pop-up, because those are usually mutually beneficial. What kind of stores do you do pop-ups in, like coffee shops versus stores? I think I said it last time I was talking about on my last live, but you need to figure out who your potential customer is and then figure out where they are hanging out and do the pop-ups there. So yeah, it's just as simple as that. Figure out who your potential customer is, and then where do they hang out? Are they at hair salons a lot? Are they at certain boutiques? Are they at certain bakeries? Figure out where they are and do the pop-ups there. Do you advertise? Do you do more kids' cakes? Do it at a kids' store. I thought there was some more secrets behind that. Simple enough. So most of the places it will be simple. Some, they already know about pop-ups and they have maybe fill out an application or something like that. Like I was talking about this the other day on a live, and someone said there's a couple shops in their area that you have to pay a certain amount to do a pop-up. So that could be if other places might know about it, but this is relatively new for most places. Tips for starting out when you have a small kitchen. So I definitely had a small kitchen. I would recommend, I got like storage stuff that went up because I didn't have a lot of space. So I just stacked a lot and really just trying to stay as organized as you can. And the cool thing was I was just doing macarons, so I didn't have to have a crap ton of like different ingredients. I just had to have my, you know, sugar, eggs, sugar, almond flour, stuff like that. And then the storage I just stacked up instead of out. Are you giving the pop-up place a percentage? Most of the time, no. Some places you would. Most of the time, it's just good enough that you're bringing in customers. So if you can show them, like I have a lot of people come to this pop-up, like give them an average of how many people come to your pop-up. That would be a great way to show them that you're going to be bringing new customers into their business. I recently discovered that there is a Mac baker in my community that started 1 year ago, but charges less than what I would like to charge. Should I be worried? No, I would not be worried at all. I definitely charge more than everyone. But mine are better. And I'm sure yours could be too, or if they already are. Just work on your product and make them better so you're not even in the same league. Like, you can keep charging more and just keep making your product better. What's a reasonable price to pay for a pop-up? I'm in Georgia. So that depends totally on the place. If it's a place that gets a lot of traffic and they're going to be advertising a lot about your pop-up, they can probably charge more. Most of the time, if they're charging more, they're doing it because they know that they will be bringing in a lot of customers for you. You could see if maybe you could figure out, go on their Instagram, figure out who's done a pop-up there before, and maybe go talk to that person and say, how did it go? Was it worth it? You know, just to see if it's worth the money. Hello from Australia. Do you have any tips on getting repeat customers? Right now, a lot of my clients are tourists. So I guess another question is if you have any tips on how to reach more tourists. Okay. So repeat customers, I would maybe offer like, I don't like doing sales, but maybe here is a coupon for a free macaron with your next order, or something like that, just to give them incentive to order again, to place another order. So tips on how to reach more tourists. So like I was saying earlier, now that you know that your client, you know more about your client, they're a tourist, figure out where they are looking for information when they're coming into that area, where they are staying, where they're going, and then advertise there. Hi, Michelle. Hi, do you have recommendations for storage pieces that can fit in small spaces? So if you have an IKEA, I would look at IKEA. It kind of depends on what's in your area, but I think IKEA, I've found the most stuff there, sadly. Okay, yes. Do you have any tips on how to get more customers? Yes, like I was saying, figure out who your ideal customer is and figure out where they're going to be, what they're looking at, what they're reading, the hashtags they're following on Instagram. It's really important that you figure out who your ideal customer is. There are a lot of macaron makers in my area. What would you do to stand out? So try to incorporate more of like what makes you unique. Are you doing like certain flavors? Are your whatever you're making really, really good? Like what is making you stand out, and how can you kind of infuse your personality a little bit into your business? Yes, local tourists. So anywhere that you know that tourists would be, or if there are some really big like tourist spots in your area, like that everyone wants to join. Okay, so I'm gonna answer questions about about the Home Bakery Blueprint program. I'm going to do a cutoff at the end of the month. I think we're gonna close it at the end of the month. So ask any questions you have about it. I'm gonna kind of go over what's all included in it when you join. And I think I'm going to have to do a cutoff at the end of the month. So if you're thinking about joining, make sure you join before October 31st. And I will probably be closing it then, and then we'll open up it again. If you don't get in October, you would join the wait list. That's how we're going to do it. We're going to do a wait list thing. I try to do unique flavors and shaped ones as well, but they take a little longer. Charge more, and yeah, just focus on what you can do that makes your product unique. And yeah, and don't forget, like, people can buy from multiple macaron makers. Like I was saying last week, like, it's not a car, you know, they can buy multiple baked goods. Okay, so ask your questions about the program. I'm going to go over what is all included. Okay, you do have to apply. So you will apply with the link in my bio, and then you'll fill out an application. You'll get an email from me, and I'll send you to my Instagram with just a couple more questions, and then we talk about, like, because this is not for people that are, like, having a hard time getting the motivation to start it. Like, I don't know if I want to start it. I don't really have any baked goods. This is not for those people. This is for people that want to do it, have the drive to do it, want to work. You're ready to bake. You just don't know what to do, and you feel kind of overwhelmed. Okay, so you get lifetime access to the program information, all the videos. There's recorded videos in there, so you can go back to them whenever you want. You have lifetime access to that. There's worksheets, there's checklists and stuff. Like, you do module 1, this is what you should have done, this is what you need to do. That's me. Oh, the one that's motivated but overwhelmed? That's a good way to put it. Motivated but overwhelmed. Or motivated but you just don't know where to start. You need you need a guide. Okay, now you get lifetime access to all of the written instructions, the videos, everything like that. And then you get a year of the group coaching calls. So we do those once a week on Tuesdays, and you have the option where you can fill out a sheet ahead of time, and not a sheet, but a form online ahead of time, and ask a question. So if you're not going to be there during the coaching call, I will answer it, and then we record every video so you can watch it later. I'm currently on a tall ladder hanging a ghost outside, but I couldn't miss your live. Okay, so yes, once a week, group coaching calls. That's why we like to kind of limit how many people are in it, because it is on Zoom, and most of us turn our cameras on. You don't have to. About half and half turn their cameras on. So we can all talk to each other, and then you can have one-on-one with me if you need it. So that's why I keep them kind of small and do the application. Okay, now we go over, this is what we go over. So module 1, testing, planning, setting up your business structure, figuring out what products to sell, because like you've heard me say a million times, focus on one thing. So figuring out which thing you should focus on. And then module 2 is building the foundation. So you go over licensing, laws, labeling requirements. We all have to label as home bakeries, and that there's a lot of things with home bakeries where you can it's kind of iffy. Like, some of it is like one health department official will say one thing and another will say another, but not licensing, but labeling you have to get right, because that's something that they can see, and you can really get shut down if that's wrong, because people with allergies and stuff, that can be something that you can get in trouble for. So we really focus on the labeling. That's important. Insurance, taxes, all of that stuff that you need for your business, setting up the business structure, figuring out if you want to do an LLC or what kind, how to handle banking, all the boring stuff that you don't really want to do. We make you go through that, because it's important once you decide that this is something that you're going to do. You have to get all the legal stuff out of the way. Like, when I started at first, I didn't do the LLC right away. I didn't do insurance right away, but once you decide you're going to do it, you have to make sure you take care of yourself. And if you have a family and stuff, I didn't. I was just single and it was fine. So I wasn't as worried about like insurance and LLC and stuff. But if you have stuff you have to protect, you definitely need to make sure you're doing everything legal. So how many people do you accept? That depends. It depends on, I like to accept a certain amount a year, but some people don't start their coaching calls right away. So I can maybe then add another person if I know this person's not going to start their coaching calls until, December or whatever. Okay, let's see. So yeah, you got to make sure all the legal stuff is good. Insurance, taxes, you don't want to mess around with that once you decide to actually take your business to the next level. So then module 3, we go over your product, how to set up your order system, how to order supplies, cut costs, where to order your supplies, and make sure that you're actually making a profit with your business and you're not just working nonstop. And then setting up a flow to prepare for bulk orders, because if you're doing this right, you're going to be doing a lot of bulk orders for maybe wholesale and stuff. So kind of setting up a flow on how to prepare for that. Okay, now module 4, you got all the legal stuff done and all the boring stuff. This is the fun part for me, but establishing your brand. So how to create a recognizable brand, your logo. We go over all of that stuff. So you don't have to hire a graphic designer if you don't want to. I teach you how to do the logo, all of that stuff. The website, we do a video on that, on how to do it. The website I recommend. I don't do any, I do easy websites. So it's a lot of drag and drop stuff. So it takes a lot of instructions, but once you get it, it's easy. And that's what I recommend, because you should be able to update your website yourself. So let's say you get a website made and you spend $3,000 on it. It would be way more than that, but $3,000 on it. And then you go through, you have it for a couple months, but then you need to update it. You can't keep going back to that person without paying each time. So the sooner you learn how to be self-sufficient with your website, the better, and cheaper. So it's a pretty annoying at first to learn this, but I teach how to do it step by step. I call it mom explaining. I explain it how I would explain it to my mother. There's videos and written instructions on how to do the website, so don't be scared about that. But we go over the website, all the branding, how to choose your branding colors, how to choose your branding fonts. So you have that all taken care of. And then photos. So I talked in a couple lives ago, hi from England, hello, how important it is to have good photos. Hey, on the mom thing. I literally said, I'm going to explain this how I explain it to my mom, because she absolutely does not want to do a website. So I teach you how to take better photos, whether you're using your iPhone or a, more serious camera, but how to do that, how to edit them to look better. If you don't want to do that, dang, I didn't know it could cost that much. It depends on where you get the website made, but I just always tell people use these platforms so you can update it on your own, because you need to be able to, if you have maybe an event going on or something, you want to update the pictures, you need to be able to do that on your own. So how to take your photos, how to get photos taken for you if you don't want to deal with photos. And then we go over social media, how to set it up, how to efficiently post, and like I was saying earlier, how to reach local customers and grow your audience with local customers instead of, just a bunch of random people following and liking your post, but how you can grow with people that are actually going to buy. Okay, then module 5, how to grow your audience outside of social media. This is where we talk about getting your email list going, which I will keep saying is so important, especially after today. Was everyone just panicked? Like, how am I going to reach my people? This is where an email list comes in handy. So you learn the techniques on how to grow your social media. I'd still tell you how to grow your social media past just local people, because it is nice to have a lot of followers to kind of show that just social proof. So I do show you how to do that, but also how to get it with local customers. So and how to do it without spending just all day on Instagram. Okay, then the last module, module 6, is how to expand. So this is how to get more customers in your area, how to sell at farmers markets, pop-ups to make the most money, and then how to market your products for weddings and events, if that's something you're open to doing. And then how to provide baked goods for maybe corporate events, meetings, stuff like that, where you can get reoccurring income in case you do want to open up a shop in the future. And then you'll learn how to do wholesale and stuff, and what you need to say to wholesale accounts. And we have emails and stuff that you just fill in your own information, but just templates that you can put out there. So does anyone have any questions? I think that pretty much covers it. They're open. It's open now, but I think I am going to close it at the end of October, just so it doesn't get too big, and then we'll open up again maybe in a couple months. But let me know what questions you have. If you want to apply, we do application only. You can go in my bio or send me a message on Instagram and I will send you a link to apply. How quickly can you work through the program? So every program I've gone through, I go through it so quickly. I watch all the videos, and I will go through, watch all the videos at first, and then go work through it. So that depends on how much time you're putting into it, but the stuff that you need to actually do will take longer than it takes to go through it. So it just depends how much time you're putting into it. But so you could watch through the videos, but then I would recommend going back through them and watching them through again and doing what I'm telling you to do in them. Is this what I've been contacting you about? Yes, this is what I was talking about. How do you know if you get accepted? I will send you a message I will email you if you filled out the application. But if you haven't heard back, check your spam folders or message me on Instagram. Some people were saying they didn't get the email. But if you applied before October, I sent out an email. So if you didn't get one, check your spam folder or send me a message on Instagram. But yeah, what I recommend is going through, watching all the videos, then going through and working through everything and doing the steps that you need to take. It's been fun decorating with you. It is self-paced, so everyone's at a different spot. The group coaching calls are there for you to ask any questions you have about the program. So it's not like this week we're going over module 1. It's not like that. It's like everyone's at a different spot. But you can come in and ask questions about whatever module you're on. And the cool thing is a lot of the people, and we have a Facebook group just for the people in the program. The cool thing about the group coaching calls is a lot of people that are in them have already gone through the course. They can kind of help as well if you have a question. So we have a couple different payment plan options. If you want to know more about that, you can send me a message and I can send you over some of the plans. You can either pay up front or you can do monthly payments, which is what a lot of people prefer to do. Okay. Yeah, so if you applied before October 1st, I send you an email whether you got in or not, saying I have a couple more questions for you. Message me on Instagram, and then I kind of talk to you. I send some voice memos. And it's not just for Macaron bakers either. I have a lot of people ask that. Any bakery. We even had someone that owned or wanted to start a wine shop do it. You can apply in my bio or send me a message on Instagram.